I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. This is a turn-of-the-century Wellington that we're doing a full restoration on, and it's actually, the project is somewhat advanced. It's maybe, I don't know, 20%, something like that. But this is a fun opportunity to see some guts, see some piano guts, see it all torn apart in its current condition, and talk about what we've done and what is still ahead. So this is a big old upright, as you can tell, and check out the finish. Finish is pretty typical. That's generally what we see. A lot of wear and tear on these 100-year-old pianos, pretty normal for 100 years of use. It's actually shocking that they're in as good condition as they are generally for being 100 years old. And this, all of this cracking, I don't know if you can see the kind of alligator skin. Maybe it's more obvious here where it's a little bit shinier. Kind of looks like alligator skin. What that is the substrate or the wood underneath. It expands and contracts year after year after year, or cycle after cycle, humidity, and the clear coat on top can only take that so many times. The shellac, I believe it's shellac, it can only take so many expansion contractions, and then finally the elasticity is worn out, and then it just cracks, it just shatters like glass. And so that's what this is. So if you look at your piano and you look closely and you see this alligator skin, that's what that is. And piano needs to be refinished. Okay, so the plate on this one is this plate over here. Here's Curtis. He's the man that does the plates.
It loses its amalgamators.
Okay, they lose their amalgamators, which are, it's kind of like gluten in bread.
Correct.
Okay, correct. All right. So, and his wife is an amazing cook, and so he knows about gluten in bread, and she's a freeze dryer, and she does all sorts of good stuff. So, amalgamators and gluten. And here's the plate. So Curtis, I think we should, what do you think? That's the plate right there. Should we leave it that color, or should we make it gold? Putting you on the spot here. We'll figure it out.
Is that the second half?
That's the second half, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. They are traditionally gold. I think it should be gold. And look how good. Let's see. That's how the plates look after they're done. Look how good that looks. And then when they're restrung, that one over there. And then, do you want to just hang on to it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, now this one, same thing. We've got that same beautiful gold automotive paint on there, and that's what it looks like after it's got strings and the action is well advanced. So that'll be beautiful again. We're gonna do lots of repairs on the action, or on the soundboard here. We're gonna check the PRSB, which is perimeters, ribs, soundboard, and bridges. So perimeter, look around the perimeter for any kind of delamination, any kind of separation of the soundboard to the rim, to the perimeter, because it's only glued around the perimeter. Everything else is just a big free-floating square, and that's what vibrates. So that's the perimeter. Then we go to our ribs. We look for any separation of the ribs. Soundboard, that's the S. So we've got these issues here. We're going to fix those cracks. And then ribs, looks like a technician sometime in the past did a repair. There were separation of the ribs, and so they vibrate when the ribs come unglued, and it sounds really, really awful. It's really obnoxious to listen to when you've got vibrating ribs. And so it looks like a technician at some time in the past, who knows, decades ago, put glue in there and then screwed the ribs to the soundboard in hopes that would suck it together and prevent any obnoxious vibration. So we'll take all of these screws out, and we'll glue it, and then we'll dowel it, so we won't have screws sticking out anymore, but we'll have dowels, and it'll look like, do we have any on this one, Adeline?
Matthew and I just did one that had
That had some.
it got taken away.
Okay, well, they just look like little dots. Yeah, all of these, they all have repairs, and you can see. Here's another one. It's rare that these old pianos don't have repairs. This is a good example of what a repair looks like, that with the shim inserted, and then everything's been nicely sanded and lacquered, looks beautiful. And then this one also has this bridge cap. So that's the last thing on this piano that we'll do is replace do any repairs that need to be done on the bridge cap. So there you have it, Wellington, well underway.